cold steel bars, razor wire fences, Clinton Correctional Facility, a place designed to hold the worst of the worst. But in 2015, two convicted killers shattered that illusion. David Sweat and Richard Matt vanished into the dead of night, leaving behind a network of power tools and a gaping hole in prison security. This is the story of their audacious escape, a manhunt that paralyzed a region, and the questions that linger to this day. David Sweat was born on June 14, 1980. His criminal record includes multiple offenses, but he is most notoriously known for his involvement in the 2002 murder of Broome County Sheriff's Deputy Kevin Targia. Sweat, along with two accomplices, was caught stealing guns from a Pennsylvania store. During the haste, they shot Deputy Targia multiple times and then ran him over with a vehicle to ensure he was dead. Sweat was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Richard Matt, born on June 25, 1966, had a lengthy criminal history, including burglary, assault, and attempted murder. In 1997, he was convicted of the brutal kidnapping, torture, and dismemberment of his former boss, William Rickerson. After fleeing to Mexico, he was apprehended there for killing another American, Charles Perrault, in a bar fight. Matt was extradited back to the United States, where he was sentenced to 25 years to life for Rickerson's murder. Sweat and Matt were both held at the Clinton Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison known for housing some of New York's most dangerous criminals. They worked in the prison's tailor shop, where they were known for their skills and reliability. This job granted them certain privileges and allowed them to gain the trust of the prison staff, which would later play a crucial role in their escape. The escape plan began with cultivating relationships with prison staff. Joyce Mitchell, a civilian employee who supervised Sweat and Matt in the tailor shop, became a key figure in their escape plan. Matt, a charismatic and manipulative individual, seduced Mitchell, and Sweat used this relationship to gain favors and information about the prison layout and schedules. Another prison guard, Gene Palmer, was also unknowingly involved by providing them tools in exchange for artwork from Matt, not realizing their true intentions. Sweat and Matt's jobs in the tailor shop provided them access to tools and materials they needed to execute their plan. Using hacksaw blades, chisels, and other tools smuggled in by Mitchell and Palmer, they started their meticulous work. They spent months cutting through the steel walls of their cells and a series of catwalks behind the walls, leading to a maze of underground tunnels, pipes, and shafts beneath the prison. Sweat, being more agile and physically fit, was responsible for navigating the tunnels to explore possible escape routes. They made several trial runs to ensure their path was clear and to familiarize themselves with the route. These rehearsals allowed them to iron out any potential issues and prepare for the final escape. On the night of June 5, 2015, Sweat and Matt put their plan into action. They cut through the steel back walls of their adjacent cells into the catwalks and descended into the bowels of the prison. Using their makeshift tools, they navigated through a series of pipes and tunnels, eventually emerging through a manhole outside the prison walls, approximately 500 feet beyond the prison's secure perimeter. Their escape went undetected until the next morning, when guards discovered the empty cells during the routine head count. The prisoners had placed dummies in their beds to avoid immediate detection. By the time the alarm was raised, Sweat and Matt were already on the run, embarking on a trek through the dense forests of upstate New York. The escape triggered a massive manhunt involving more than 1,000 law enforcement officers, including state police, federal marshals, and the FBI. The search spanned several weeks and covered a vast, rugged terrain, making it one of the largest and most expensive manhunts in New York State history. The dense forests, swamps, and rough terrain of upstate New York provided natural cover for the fugitives, making the search extremely challenging. The manhunt was further complicated by the criminals' survival skills and their ability to move stealthily through the wilderness. Tips and sightings from the public played a crucial role in tracking their movements. On June 26, 2015, law enforcement received a tip about a possible sighting of the fugitives in the vicinity of Malone, New York, near the Canadian border. A tactical team from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection spotted Matt in the woods. When Matt refused to surrender and aimed a shotgun at the officers, they opened fire, killing him. His body was found with a pair of stolen shotguns, indicating his intent to continue evading capture by any means necessary. 2 days later, on June 28, 2015, a New York State Trooper, Sergeant J. Cook, was patrolling a rural road in the town of Constable, New York. Cook spotted a suspicious individual walking along the road and, upon recognizing him as Sweat, pursued him on foot. After a brief chase, Cook shot Sweat twice in the torso when he tried to flee across a field. Sweat was captured alive and was immediately provided medical treatment before being taken back into custody. Following the escape, Joyce Mitchell was arrested and charged with aiding the escape. She pleaded guilty to promoting prison contraband and criminal facilitation and was sentenced to up to 7 years in prison. Gene Palmer was also arrested and charged with promoting prison contraband and official misconduct. He served a 6-month jail sentence after pleading guilty to a reduced charge. After his capture on June 28, 2015, David Sweat was initially hospitalized for treatment of his gunshot wounds. Following his recovery, he was placed in solitary confinement and subjected to intense security measures. Sweat was moved to various high-security prisons to prevent any further escape attempts and to ensure maximum security. The escape of David Sweat and Richard Matt remains a chilling chapter in American criminal history. Their audacious plan exposed vulnerabilities and sparked a massive manhunt. While they were eventually apprehended, questions about the escape and its aftermath continue to swirl. The escape led to significant reforms within the New York State prison system. An investigation revealed numerous lapses in security protocols and staff negligence that allowed Sweat and Matt to execute their plan. The prison system introduced more rigorous and frequent cell inspections to prevent the accumulation of contraband and tools that could be used for escapes. There was a significant increase in training programs for prison staff to help them recognize and prevent manipulation by inmates, as well as to understand the importance of adhering strictly to security protocols. Improvements in surveillance technology and the implementation of more comprehensive monitoring systems for both inmates and staff interactions were made to prevent any unauthorized activities. Policies regarding inmate privileges and access to certain areas were reviewed and tightened. This included stricter regulations on the movement and activities of high-risk inmates like Sweat and Matt. What security lapses allowed this to happen? Could something like this occur again? Share your thoughts on this case in the comments below, and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime stories.